What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here after a long week break. It's been great to have a break in the sun. Thanks for all your messages, missing me, but yeah.
He is alive. He is alive.
I am
just
alive,
checking.
and I'm back, and I'm kicking with a nice little suntan as well. But yeah, a lot has happened since I've gone away.
Now you're catching up.
A lot's happened since I've gone away. But there's been some big news today. Joe Hart said to have his medical today or tomorrow.
No, he's had his medical today.
He has had his medical.
Yeah, so Spurs signing Joe Hart as a third choice keeper, getting England's former number one. We like England's number ones here at Tottenham.
Number one.
Joe Hart looks like he's starting.
Well bring Paul Robinson back.
Yeah, I don't mind him. I don't mind his third choice Paul Robinson for sure. Also a former Burnley keeper, two former Burnley keepers. But yeah, Joe Hart. Look. It's been a lot has been made out of it on social media. It's not much of it. Look, he's a winner. He's a leader. He's had an awful past 3 years. Since Pep Guardiola joined Man City, he's pretty much his performance has dropped like a rock. Torino, he was shocking. West Ham, he was shocking. Burnley, he didn't get much game time, but he's not going to get much game time at Spurs either. He's pretty much replacing Michel Vorm, so I think he might be a good character to have around the squad. And I'm not too against him being third choice.
Yeah, I mean he's a good character to have around. Let's be honest, but in terms of personnel and playing squad, he's not going to see any game time. Never mind a bit of game time. I know Michel Vorm. I mean, if Hugo Lloris gets injured and Gazaniga wants to be rested for the cups, that's the only time he's going to ever see game time. But I just don't want to see him play in the cups, even if it is if Gazaniga is going to be rested. I would prefer to see Gazaniga play every cup game, or I'd actually prefer to see Lloris play every cup game. But if it doesn't work out like that and he wants to give Lloris a rest, just do not put Joe Hart in.
Apparently Joe Hart is set to take a wage cut though, so it shows how desperate it really is to join a club, especially a club with Tottenham's stature. He's probably jumping at the chance. Apparently he's going to sign a 2-year contract at 33, so he'll take him until he's 35. Which actually, when you think about it, 33, he's not actually that old for a goalkeeper. You think he's well past it. He has an awful few years, but he's not, for a goalkeeping standard, he's not that old. And I think I think whatever, the signing makes sense. Also for the homegrown quota.
That's it. That's why it really makes sense, because we've been struggling for these homegrown players. We've been screwed over quite a bit with it, because Eric Dyer, English player, doesn't count as a homegrown player. Ben Davis as well doesn't count as a homegrown player. So we've been stung in the tail a bit, and we really need to get the English quota up, and that's one to.
It's something that all the teams in the top six seem to do. City signed Stuart Taylor on Richard Wright as well. Chelsea signed Robert Green. So this is that kind of signing. It's just a signing that makes sense for us, makes sense for all parties. And I saw Joe Hart's interview a few months ago. He was very open and honest. Like, he just said he needs someone to believe in him and needs the club. He's still got belief in his own ability. And although he had
a third choice keeper,
and yeah, we believe in him to be a third choice keeper. Look, Joe Hart. Welcome to Spurs, looks like, and I think he'll just be a good character to have around the team. Someone who's won the Premier League a couple of times, so he knows what it's like to win. So I welcome him to the club. Really, I can't see him getting much game time.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, he's a good character to have, but all the Spurs fans on Twitter and social media go up in arms about this transfer. Like, it's not a transfer where you're going to see him play, so just calm down a bit.
Yeah, I think it's nothing transfer really. It's just we're signing him for convenience purposes, pretty much. Look, you never know. Gazaniga might get injured, and he might get promoted to number 2, or Lloris might get whatever. And if he does get back to his best, then all better for us. I can't see it, but
that's not happening. Let's be honest. But look, let's move on to our first choice keeper, Hugo Lloris. It's rumoured that he is going to be signing that new contract. Obviously, his contract runs out at the end of next season. So it's good to knuckle him down. Obviously, we both agree that he's been one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League this season. He's kind of proved a lot of his doubters wrong, I believe. And he's still a top class keeper, and I think it's very important to get him knuckled down to that contract.
I think he deserves the new contract. I think he's been absolutely sensational ever since he came back from that injury, especially since the lockdown as well. I think since lockdown he's probably been the best in the league throughout the whole season, apart from some performances pre-injury, he's been top 3 probably in the league. And I think he's really fought back against the critics who are saying Tottenham need to upgrade or Tottenham need to improve their keeping situation. I think he's shown again what a good keeper he is. And I think also under Jose, I think it suited him more a bit. Maybe he's not playing as much with his feet. He's playing just a more of a style where he can concentrate on his goalkeeping, and he doesn't have to concentrate too much on rushing out of his goal all the time and sweeping and being a sweep keeper that he was under Maurizio. So I think it suited him, this Jose style, and I think he's been absolutely sensational. Some of the saves he's made has been absolutely phenomenal.
He's kept us in games
for sure, and he's made some absolutely wonderful saves, and he hasn't been made too many mistakes either. So I think he's really come back into form, and I think we're seeing Lloris at his best at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Let's move on to Olly Skipp. We heard a few months ago or a month ago saying that Olly Skipp kind of wants to go on loan to get that first team football. Jose didn't really want to send him on loan for kind of selfish reasons, because it's great to have someone like that in and around the squad, even though he's not going to get a bit of game time. But it looks as though he is going to be going on loan to Norwich. What do you make out of it? Because we've got a very busy start to the season. Do you not think that we should be keeping him and then maybe loaning him out in January or something
I would agree if it was maybe a youngster in a different position, but I think we're so well stocked at the moment in central midfield that even with our busy schedule coming up, we don't really need him. All right, like, it's not a necessity for him to be around the place. I think it's good for him to go on loan to a team like Norwich,
but
where
wouldn't you prefer to see him in a team than Jedson?
Well, yeah, but I would. But if he wants to go on loan, then we're going to have to see Jedson. Like, it's not the end of the world. I think Skipp needs to get the minutes under his belt, needs to get that playing time. And I think Norwich is a good place for him to learn his trade. And I think, Dan Kilpatrick reporting that he's set to join on Norwich on loan. So it looks like that one's definitely going to happen. And obviously, he signed a new contract not so long ago. So Jose has a lot of belief that and he's called him a future captain. So I think it's a good move for him. And yeah, look, I would like him to get some minutes in Europa League, but I think it's better for him to be starting week in, week out.
No, I agree. And Norwich, good club to go. He'll probably be fighting at the top of the Championship at some way.
And they play good football. They get the ball down. He'll be getting good minutes and good time on the ball.
Not that we do.
Yeah, no, but we just run the ball forward. Exactly. Hope for a counter-attack.
All right, let's move on. And there's been some rumours from Talk Sport, actually, about Marcel Sabitzer, about Spurs really being interested in him. Obviously, he's more of a centre midfielder, but he's been playing more in his best football at right midfield, right wing for Red Bull Leipzig. He's had a very good season, hasn't he?
He's a good player, and we saw it firsthand. He scored 2 goals against us in the Champions League second leg in our 3-0 defeat. He is a really good player. He's versatile. He can play on the right, as you say. He can play attacking mid. He can play centre mid. I think he's played most games on the right this season for Leipzig.
I was actually looking at the stats, and he's played 14 games at right wing, and he's played about 11 games in centre mid this season.
Yeah.
So
and in his 14 games on the right, he's got 6 goals and 6 assists.
Yeah.
So he's really shone when he's played on the right hand side. I think he's a really good player. He's good, but it's just an odd one to be linked with at the moment, considering I think we have other priorities. It just reminded me a bit when we signed Bergwijn in January, when we just were crying out for a striker, and we got Bergwijn. It's like, good deal, but we need a striker. Yeah. And it's like this kind of similar, and that cost us in the end, not getting a striker in January.
I know we were speaking off air, and you said it only makes sense if Ndombele leaves, but actually I think it makes sense if someone like Lamela leaves. If Lamela does leave, he's very similar positions. I know Lamella's not really a centre mid, but he usually occupies that a like attacking midfield role or right wing role, and I think Sabitzer can do the same role.
He can, but I think he demands more of a first team spot than maybe Lamela does.
It's a squad game, and you fight for your place. And if he deserves his place, he will be in that team.
I'm not saying he would be a bad signing. I think first of all, he'll fit our profile. I think he's a hard-working player. He gives us all every game. I think he's got a good attitude, and he's a good quality player. I just think we have other priorities at the moment. It's just a weird one.
I agree with that.
It's just a weird one. It's like, why are we going for Sabitzer when we're quite well stocked in centre mid? We're quite, at the moment, although I'd like a winger, we're quite well stocked on the wings with Bergwijn, Lucas and Son. and a central attacking midfield as well. We've got Lo Celso, we've got Dele Alli. So it's just a one where you're thinking, like, good signing, but we need to be focused on our priorities. I think we've got so many bigger issues. It's one of those.
I think we are focused on those priorities though, because you can see we're heavily linked with right backs, and that's exactly what we need. We signed Højbjerg, who's that CDM. We're obviously looking for a second striker as well in a Callum Wilson mode, which we'll get on in a minute. So I think that we are actually focusing on what we need, and we also need to focus on improving the squad as well. Apart from that.
I just feel like it's like first I just can't see us splashing money on him without someone going out, and I feel like it's one of those ones where we'd only sign him if Ndombele's shipped, in my opinion.
But I still think it's a transfer that kind of makes sense in terms of the squad, and it was also someone that we were heavily linked with in the last transfer window too.
His transfer does and doesn't make sense. Obviously I'm not going to be disappointed if we sign him because I think he does improve the team. It's just I don't know. It's just something about it. Like, why are we focusing on here? Like, it's just a position we don't desperately need. So why focus? I guess should never really miss an opportunity to improve the squad. I guess
exactly.
Maybe you can look at it that way, but I just feel we're just very well stocked. So I feel like we might need to get rid of a few players before he comes in. But he's a good player, really good player, and I would love to add him to the squad.
I'll definitely take getting rid of a Lamela. To bring him in, 100%.
Obviously, but I don't think that's realistic. I think we'd have to get rid of more than just Lamela.
All right. Lamela and a Juan Foyth. That's it.
Maybe probably even more than that, I would say.
And a Nourier. That means no right back, nothing.
Yeah. Play Tanganga right back for the season.
Let's finish off with talking about Callum Wilson. Obviously, there was a video this week doing the rounds on social media with a Spurs fan hanging around outside the training ground with his son, and he did a video of a car going past him, and he was like, "Oh, I've just seen Callum Wilson walking with my own eyes. That's it. Tottenham's new number 9 is Callum Wilson."
What tier is he drinking?
I think Mark gave him a tier like 100 or something, tier 4 or 5.
He was with his son. He's like, "What do you reckon, son? Callum Wilson's on your cover."
What do you make of it?
Yeah, obviously take it with the biggest pinch of salt you've ever taken. But look, we've said we want Callum Wilson. I don't think this guy is reliable. He probably doesn't even know what Callum Wilson looks like, this guy. But who knows? The transfer window is a weird and wonderful place, isn't it? When these things always come up. I've just seen so-and-so have a coffee down the road and all these things.
But, it's off the back of also Jermaine Defoe commenting on his Instagram being like, "Have you moved to Spurs yet?"
That's true, yeah. Callie, he did comment on that. I think it makes sense we're in for him. Just whether we get it over the line, I think, is another issue. I'll take Callum Wilson. Hopefully he was seen in the training ranks. I think it would be a good signing.
I personally believe this one's going to get done. I really do.
Based on this guy.
Based on Defoe, really.
We'll see. I think there's not enough noise I'm hearing that this deal was close at all. Usually you hear a bit more noise. Although saying that, we didn't hear anything about Joe Hart before today. So sometimes get through the media's fingers. Sometimes these deals, but. Make of it what you will. Apparently he was seen at the training ground. I don't really believe it, but who knows?
Well, exactly. You can make your own minds on that. But I think it's going to get over the line. I don't know if it's imminently going to get over the line, but I think over the course of the transfer window, I think it actually will happen. I can't really see another striker who we're going to sign that's more realistic than Callum Wilson, because first of all, he's that profile we're looking for. He's a good player. He's Premier League proven. He's English as well. Ticks all the boxes really for a second striker.
100%, completely agree.
All right, so there you have it. That is the Tottenham update. We spoke about Joe Hart coming into Spurs, Hugo Lloris' contract, Olly Skipp going on loan to Norwich, Marcel Sabitzer, and the imminent transfer of Callum Wilson. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of all this. And as always,
come on you Spurs.